We were on an old system, homegrown system, custom system. It was the proverbial burning platform. We couldn't support it any longer.
You know, we're a legacy company of 75 plus years. So our infrastructure was what we refer to as a Michigan cottage, right? It's been bolted on, right? You've expanded your family, you add a bedroom, you add a bathroom, and all of a sudden you wake up one day thinking, oh my gosh, we've got all these bolt-on platforms and we've made them work, but they're limiting our ability to kind of transform again that service experience.
Who do we want to work with? How do we want to work with it? How can we make this transition successful? Because that's ultimately what you want to do. We've seen people in this industry that went to a new ERP system and it failed for them. By failure, I mean it shut them down for a couple weeks to a couple of months. And our goal was that it was never going to happen. We were going to make sure that it worked, we were ready for it, and we had all the pieces in place.
So I reached out to my colleagues outside of Chicago Tube for recommendations for consultants, and Ultra's name was recommended by a handful. So we brought in several, and I thought Ultra was the most experienced, the most thorough.
We looked at trying to find a strategic partner. We vetted a number of them, ultimately selected Ultra as our consulting partners, right? And it was going to be a commitment that we were going to go all in, right? And they helped us from the very onset of the project, from coming in, understanding our current processes, redefining what our future processes look like, and then helped us through that journey of technology evaluation, technology selection.
I'm a big fan of the Ultra methodology. You know, the BPI, the selection, the implementation, and the post-implementation. And again, it was the most thorough.
What drew us to Ultra was that they actually had a system, the way they would go through it. And they had experts in each of the different areas, such as accounting or the what they call product life management, PLM. They have an expert in there. They have experts on designing warehouses.
Matter of fact, the gentleman that kind of headed up our project, he had over 300 implementations, all successful. That's a good thing. We know there's going to be stumbling blocks whenever you do an implementation. We wanted to go with someone that had experienced some of those and could guide us so that we don't make the same mistakes. And we thought that we were better off to put money up front and do it right rather than have some things fall apart and then have to come back and make corrections.
They have a connection with multiple vendors in ERP systems, and they took a lot of weight off our shoulders being able to talk to the right people. They also, on our end, like I mentioned, have really taken over from that outside view, really managing this project.
They've got the checkpoints right in or built in, so we knew when we were ahead and we knew when we were behind. And weren't allowed really to go further until we kind of cleaned our act up in certain areas, and then we could move forward.
Ultra did a tremendous job to basically educate us on. We had not done an ERP implementation before. They had done numerous of them. So they kind of talked us through, hey, this is what's going to happen, this is what to expect, these are some of the downfalls that may occur, and we're going to make sure that we take care of those so that they don't occur, and here's how you get a successful implementation. I've told several people that have asked me about it over the time frame since we utilized Ultra. I tell them, do not go into a system without having a partner consultant with you, because it will save you a tremendous amount of time, and there's money involved up front, but it's money well spent.
And for us, it was easy to go and say, we're not great at this. And if we're not great at something, we look for partners who are great at that. And Ultra was that kind of partner that we could lean on from the very beginning of understanding current state to looking at future state, being agnostic to the software options that are out there, help us select the best that was going to meet our strategic goals and objectives, and then ultimately, as proven out, see us through to implementation.
If I were to give advice to anyone who's considering using Ultra Consultants, I would say do it. If we would have tried to do this on our own, we would have crashed and burned.
Ultra was an important key element to making sure of our ERP success.
Because these projects are going to have their highs and they're going to have their lows, right? It's, do you trust them during the lows to get you out of them? And Ultra's just demonstrated that over the years.